Being fair and balanced is the most important thing, and going to every length and extreme that you can to get both sides of a story, to get all three sides of a story, to have the most well-rounded story that you can present to your viewers. As a general assignment reporter at Channel 6 Action News in Philadelphia, I cover everything. I'm out in the community, I'm out in the streets every single day. I actually rarely come into the office, and I'm really with our viewers. I'm with the people that we bring the news to. We try to cover all of the good. Fortunately, we also have to cover the bad, but we have a really important role in the city, in the area. We have an important role in journalism. When I was a junior at Muhlenberg College, I had an internship at PBS in Washington, D.C. that was for Muhlenberg students. And while I was there, I met so many people that were interns in the White House. And with the help of one of my Muhlenberg professors who wrote me a wonderful recommendation letter, I was able to secure a White House internship in the Vice Presidential Photo Office for then Vice President Al Gore. And I admittedly didn't have any photo experience. I said, sure, I could figure it out. One of the White House photographers called over to the morning call, and they were able to help me secure my very first newspaper internship. And I worked for a number of newspapers and wire services, and I was able to really document history. So the more I kept shooting assignments, the more work that I was able to get. And then I decided, I really want to see if I can be a news reporter, if I can do this. The goal was always to come back. I'm from South Jersey. I grew up watching Action News, and the goal was always to come back to Philadelphia, but I knew I needed to get better. I knew I needed to become a better reporter. One of the first things I did when I got my job in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, knowing that I was going to be covering state government, was I reached out to my Muhlenberg professor who had actually written my recommendation letter for the White House, who at the time was serving in the state legislature, and I asked him for help. I said, I don't know anyone. Please explain all this to me, and he did. And that job set me up for this job.
I check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Our brand speaks for itself, and we are able to keep those viewers. Even with all of these mediums that are changing as to how you can get your news, we are trusted, and we are number one, and we're the most dominant for that reason. So I was a communications major and a music minor. The communications program was excellent. And so I was able to get a better idea of what role the media plays. When I'm at a press conference and somebody is saying X, Y, Z, immediately I'm able to stop and to think and then ask a question off the cuff, something that I know could potentially impact a viewer. And I know that because I have a well-rounded way of thinking because of my liberal arts education. And after I didn't make the theater program the first year, I auditioned and I didn't make it. I thought, okay, that's all right, let's focus on your strengths. And my strengths had always been choral singing, and I'm a trained mezzo-soprano. But for me, I think it actually has a huge impact on my writing. So we're telling a story whether it be a crime story or whether it be a lighthearted story, but you want to engage the viewer when you're telling that story. And so you need to have a rhythm, you need to have a beat. And I think one of the great things about Muhlenberg was really learning what is expected of the media. Additionally, the classes that maybe weren't the classes that I would have necessarily wanted to take, but I needed to fill requirements, ended up really benefiting me. Philosophy classes really play a role into a lot of the questions that I ask. One of the best takeaways that I have from Muhlenberg is I really felt like the staff there had a vested interest in what I was going to do next.